enough of that. We got a red Terran in the top left side. He is a freak of freaks. TY. Kablamo. Bottom right side, the blue Protoss player fighting for the Raise Your Edge gamers. He is ZEST. ZEST. Let's go. Alright. A lot of SC2 views are from SC1 as well. Yeah, that's true, that's true. SC2 is sports where Koreans battle. Well, Koreans battle Europeans while Americans watch. Yeah, alright, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, to be fair, we have some really good Americans as well right now. Australia, just to name one. Future's doing well. Special's doing well. Scarlet's doing well. Neeb. Almost forgot about Neeb. Can't forget about Neeb now, can we? Of course I wouldn't forget about Max, though. Max Angel. The man, the myth, the legend. Great guy. Very nice as well. Very polite boy. Alright, TY versus ZEST. Let's do a bit of thinking about this matchup. I think I fully agree with Sean there. TY, a bit inconsistent online, but a Chad in the GSL booth. That's, yeah, that's pretty much what he is, alright? I mean, overall, people can take a bit of advantage of him when there is just a regular same old going on. And he can't really use his brain power as much in between games, or in, well, in this one of the games. Since, well, he's just doing the same thing, right? Well, I suppose. Just doesn't have that much time thinking. There we go. I got there eventually. Same for me. I apparently also don't have a lot of time thinking. Just gotta see everything unfolding. Real life. Alright. This is a bit of an interesting push here. You will be able to push out those Stalkers here, otherwise they will go down, of course. No shield battery here to help out. Now the Hellions are suddenly on top of those probes, right? This could start to get quite a bit nasty, quite a bit quickly. Alright, six workers there. You know, that is nice. That is quite something. TY there with a well, proper timed attack. Still stuff going on in the main base as well. Another Hellion somehow managing to cut off from the rest of the group, and now the other Hellion coming into the natural here as well. I mean, it's a bit of a shame that there's only one of them, of course, but still, look at that. Still getting 3 more extra probes, getting a good scout. ZEST trying to ensure that Hellion does not escape, but now he's locked in to get there together with the the probes. Honestly, it's amazing how well TY has been doing, especially since he's also casting the GSL. Yeah, man. It's nuts. It's quite nuts. I really wish I could listen in on him as well with the GSL. It's one of the reasons why I'm learning Korean. Right? So I don't have to watch Tasteless and Otsosis anymore, obviously. Get to watch TY. Alright. Banshee aggression. I mean, do we have any observers? Yes, we do. It's on the top right there, of course, but none in the neighborhood. No recall possibility either on this Nexus over here. Did recall it into the main base, where it will now be right on top of that Banshee. But that, again, right? More economic damage being taken by ZEST. ZEST here, kind of being taken along for the ride, as TY is just making everything happen here. ZEST finally just kind of taking the hit and making himself some shield batteries here. Probably a good thing. You'd be surprised, he basically knows every single move. Damn. I would, well, yeah. That's why I want to listen in on him. TY was also a super promising young Brute War player when StarCraft 2 came out, known as Baby. That's true, that's true. He is no longer a baby, though. He's grown up. He can... I'm not sure if he can grow a beard. Some people can't, right? People like me, for example. I don't know what it is. Grows in all patchy and stuff. But then again, beard's not all that common in Korea anyway, right? Why is that, actually? Why are there almost no beards in Korean culture? Yeah, Bench, you're not going to be able to do much here. Trying to think of just genetics. Just genetic. Can't grow beards. Or less hair suits in general. Interesting. That is quite interesting. Just less hair. Hmm. Uh-oh. I mean, the Stark is here trying to just hold back the attack, but struggling a little bit. Right, now he just kind of backs up. Very interesting. It's almost like a maneuver against the Zerg player here, right? Just kind of poking in forwards. Holding onto his own stuff, though, and just kind of being there like, alright, well, you just make more units, you just make those shield batteries, and now I'm gone. Now I'm out of here. It's going to bulk up more units, though, and it's going to go in for wave number 2. Quite cool to see. Quite cool to... This does seem like a very, very deliberate kind of move here. To move forward like that. And maybe get a delay in some sort of a Colossus attack or something like that. Right, here we go. Good bit of force fielding. TY, of course, though, knows that that's going to happen. As TY knows everything. TY also knows that. He's going to be able to do quite a bit of hurt here onto the Protoss army. He's going to get himself up on the ramp. The sentry's not there just quite yet to utilize the force fields. Good moving backwards there, just barely outside of the range of those force fields. We'll be trying to commit now, though. That is a lot of Marines still remaining. Quite a bit of orange army units here for the Protoss. And I think that is going to be enough here for TY. GG is called. TY takes game number 1. Alright, what are you guys still talking about? He's still strong in StarCraft 1 as well. I saw this Reddit post, I believe it was as well, where TY and Flash were they made a bet against somebody, right? Some Zerg player. And then Flash put in a lot of money, being like, yeah, of course TY is gonna beat you. And then some streamer guy was like, oh, no, he won't. And yeah, and then Flash got really, really angry. Because, well, he didn't get really angry. He just kind of got, like, upset because TY forgot the Marine range upgrade or something like that. Was just disappointed, face palming behind him, just like, oh god. Then he tells him, and TY's like, oh, just like laughing at himself. Oh, that's dumb. Wasn't it Soma who beat Flash random? I think so. Somebody did, right? Somebody did. It's so cool to see, though. Just overall the random player, right? It's a random player on top of the game. I don't think they'll ever make more announcer packs, though. That's a bummer size, but I appreciate it. In the top right side, we got a red Terran player fighting for the Afrika Freaks, TY. His opponent in the bottom left side, the blue Protoss player fighting for the Raise Your Edge Gamers, ZEST. someone prestiging the game. It's like, yeah, it's just making fun of all the other players in a way, isn't it? It's just like, I can beat you with whatever way I want to. I've got this game on lockdown. I know exactly all the ins and outs of every single matchup. Maybe StarCraft 3, right? Nice. Flash is only 28. That's right. That's right. 28 is a young age, a vital age. It's your prime age. It's where you shine the most in life, alright? That is what we all know. He's not old. He's not old, guys. Come on. Probably because it still won't be anywhere in comparison to the overall value with time invested compared to something like Overwatch, right? Like more skins for Overwatch or things like this. New guns in Call of Duty. New guns in Call of Duty. TY, it's interesting how he kept that Marine on the high ground, right? There must be some reason behind this. I'm gonna try to decipher why that is. I mean, he's probably still trying to pretend like he went for the Reaper, right? That must be the reason why. Because the Reaper overall, it forces out the Protoss to perhaps go for 2 gateway units, right? Interesting. Now TY here, look at that timing as well. Overwatch League has been doing really poorly this year, down to 1/3 of the views from last year. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just not, it's not a good spectator sport in my opinion. It just really isn't. Also, like, there's just no good scene overall to really see the the lower bracket teams, right? Have a bit of an update about that. I think it's... Maybe there needs to come like one of those things where... Similar to sports, right? With sports you never only broadcast the... you never only broadcast the games, right? The live games. And then just put up the VOD and then you're just like, alright, well, that's it guys. This is the esports. No, you have like all these... Well, the regular sports, right? With football and soccer and all that stuff. You would have these highlight reels as well, and just like somebody at a desk being like, alright, and this happens over here, and then they kind of show the highlights, and I think a lot of people watch that, and then because of that, watching those types of things, they get intrigued with the entire idea of just kind of being like, oh, well, you know, that's pretty cool to see. That's pretty darn cool, and they get hyped about certain players or a certain team that is doing really well at that moment in time, and they're like, wow, I gotta go support them. Stuff like that. It's normal marketing environments, yeah, I think so. We've had analyst desks for offline tournaments, did we now? I never really saw those. I mean, analyst desks, I think analyst desks are still a bit different overall. Like, it's different content than just kind of showing the highlights of a certain game, right? In a way. You don't have to get all technical, I mean, well, I suppose maybe that would add quite a bit. Anyway, alright, enough talking about that. We have a bit of an attack going on here. I like the medevac with the siege tank, a lot of potential there, of course. ZEST doing absolutely everything he can, though, micro-wise, to just deny this from doing any type of damage here. And they definitely managed to do so. Gonna get the heck out of there, leaving one Marine behind to kind of look at the thingamajig. The analyst desks in previous stream hacks, etc. showed highlights and talked about the game. It was really cool. Yeah. That is one thing, but then like that is still during the main events, right? You don't have like a specific show afterwards or some sort of other thing that is going on as well. On another day, being like, all right, well, this happened yesterday, and this all that stuff. It's all during the main show, so people that are already there are there to watch the thing itself. Alright, this is starting to become problematic here. These Blink Stalkers, they are growing in size, they're growing in scope. We may just have a bit of a GG going up here, guys. I'm sorry about not really going too deep into this, but I mean, it's quite clear what's happening here, right? ZEST just absolutely the best in StarCraft 2. That is the clear-cut thing that's happening here. GG, just like that. TY getting a bit too feisty with his Marines forwards, losing a lot of them. And that's just kind of taking the initiative there with the full gate Blink Micro. Hey, you know, that's a niche for you, Kozen. A once a week highlight show. Yeah, exactly. I think something like that would be good overall, because I don't think it would be taking away from viewership overall, but I do think that, you know, it may grow the overall scene a bit more. But yeah. It would be rough, because there's a heck of a lot of StarCraft 2 going around. I suppose, like, the Pylon show does a little bit of it, right? You do have the Pylon show kind of going around doing this type of stuff, where they go, this week in StarCraft 2. And just going over the lists and kind of just saying, like, alright, well, this is a tournament over here and here and here. These are the players that were in it. This is the guy that won it. Congratulations. On to the next thing. And that already on its own is quite a long show. So... or a big segment of the show, I should say. So, yeah. Just something like a top 10 countdown of Pimpers Play of the Week. Even if it's just for Alpha X events. I mean, we're already doing something similar to that with the Play of the Week kind of thing. But it's still difficult, right, to really find those plays. Alright, so, yeah, we're tied up now. In the bottom left side, there are Freak of Freaks. TY. Top right side, the blue Protoss player fighting for Raise Your Edge Gamers. ZEST. So yeah, we do that, the play of the week for like sponsors and stuff, right? So instead of just having like a sponsor message show up on your Twitter feeds, we try to have like the play of the week, and then you have to play a really cool play, and then that is coupled with brought to you by this sponsor. Weekly interviews would be nice, yeah. Yeah. It's a shame. Hajin's son, you know what? She'll be missed. No, to be fair, she was... usually we only did that for the Alpha Pro series as well. I think maybe the Freakat channel kind of helping us out with that as well. Getting Hajin's son involved. Little probe there, trying his best. A little probe that could, being annoying. Little SCV in the main base as well. I appreciate it, Sean. That's some nice words right there. So there's only so much we can really get right from the Team Liquids. Also the Reddit, I suppose. We're posting on that quite often. So we are building a bit of momentum there, but it does seem like some of the other channels, such as Wadi and such, right? Wadi, clearly the main lead in StarCraft 2 content right now, just continuously having quite ludicrous amounts of viewers. No matter what he's streaming, StarCraft 2 related. But yeah, he just managed to build up a massive audience, and a lot of people, of course, already on the platform on which he streams. Just kind of probably will be looking through that platform instead, and we'll be looking out to see whether or not he's going live, right? That's probably, could be enough StarCraft 2 for a lot of people as well. Anyway, what are we doing over here? We got another Blink play from ZEST. That is truly what he loves to do. He has been doing a lot of the overall gateway-orientated plays recently, right? He has been really trying to stick it to the Terrans with just Zealots, Stalkers, sometimes add some Immortals, something like this, and then later on transition into the Archon, High Templar kind of play. With the War Prism, of course, as well. The Reaper there kind of trying to get himself into the main base, but not having a lot of success. We'll be able to see, of course, the Twilight Council there, so that's a good bit of scouting. Over 1,000. Yeah, I mean, that's not even all the tournaments, right? There's also smaller tournaments that don't get on Wikipedia. Oh, it's rough. It's big markets. Well, big market. It's an oversaturated market, perhaps. Alright, so far, ZEST not being too aggressive just yet, but is getting himself those 2 extra gateways, so wouldn't be too surprised if he starts getting a bit feisty with the Stalkers here. Be positioned a little bit further forwards. I mean, you can get away with most of everything here anyway. TY not really having gone for any type of aggression himself either. He is building up a big force of bio though with the triple barracks. Gonna get a couple of Marauders here as well. I would imagine he's gonna start moving out with the 2 medevacs here. Try to take it straight against those Stalkers. With the upgrades also finishing up around this time period. And there's his 3rd base. So the one thing he's kind of missing here that you sometimes do see with this as well is, of course, the +1 attack. Not gonna get that this time around here for TY, but I think that's a lot of Stalkers absolutely everywhere, just looking around. Man, ZEST, he knows what's happening in this on this map, except for the move outs, of course. That's the one thing he doesn't see. I guess he already kind of saw, maybe. Alright, 1 single adept in the main base, War Prism. Just kind of being like, hey, what's up, man? Just be aware that you need to keep stuff at home, because otherwise I will snatch up all your SCVs. Into the spaceship. There's the War Prism. Reaper does manage to get in here. How many gateways do we already have? 8 of them. That's a lot. That's a boatload of gateways. I believe like 2 Warpins of Stalkers on those bad boys already going to be enough to shoot down the, well, small clump of bio that we have. Oh, War Prism. Okay, we'll be able to kind of manage his way towards the dead space here. Nothing to worry about. Alright, let's see. This is still quite a bit of an intimidating bio front. Especially with the Widowmines there as well. War Prism gets itself into a good position here. A safe position. There's Zealots going in for a counter-attack also on the bottom left side. Okay, good force fields. Catching a couple of those Marines. Probably wanted a couple more. Now, with the Zealots suddenly at the front door, this is the moment TY is going to have to make a decision. Where do I spend my attention, right? Do I spend my attention on the offensive? Or do I spend my attention mostly on the defensive? And right now, it looks like he's being aggressive with his attention. But at the same time, I mean, at home, he is losing a lot. And he's not gaining a lot for it either. The offense of his own absolutely falling apart already. And losing 12 SCVs in the meanwhile. That's a rough part of this game right here. TY kind of falling apart at the moment. And ZEST just slapping absolutely everything. Holding the third base offensive, holding the main base offensive, and doing a lot of damage across the map here. Try to get rid of those rogues. Gives TY a moment to set up the Widow Mines here, of course. Raven was useless. Yeah, that was no auto turrets there whatsoever. Maybe some nice anti-armor missile would be good, but I think if you go for the anti-armor missile, maybe you want to do more so all the units together, right? Because then you just have more splash damage onto the all the Protoss units together as well from the anti-armor missile. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I shouldn't question TY. Auto turrets would have been really good as well, of course, in lower number fights. Alright, well, TY is having a third base right now. Good question from Sean here, of course, is can he hold it? Can he hold that third base? It's a good question, and I don't know if I know the answer to it. Terrans, of course, always famous for being able to hold on in the defensive, right? It's the race that likes to be set up preemptively and then take as good a fight as possible that way. They're the race that takes the most benefit from just being set up defensively. That's a scary Protoss army. That is only a single Colossus so far, though, but 2 more are going to be joining in momentarily with extended turbulence coming up as well. There is the attack right now. That's a lot of Zealots, a lot of Stalkers, a whole lot of everything here. Just a small stim committal for TUI. It's important not to overstim in these situations. The 2 Liberators are helping out a lot, but maybe ZEST is just going to be able to go around. He will try his best to make this work. Interference Matrix, only 2 Colossi, but it's still looking like it may just be too much Protoss regardless of all of those Colossi just not being able to do anything, not being able to participate. It was just already too much damage being received by TY, no longer capable of holding his ground. GG is called. ZEST takes game number 3. Sets himself up for a match point situation here. TY, he looked so good in that game number 1, and then it just kind of started falling apart here a little bit. Zealots so tanky. Yeah, the Zealots are quite tanky, aren't they? They definitely are. You want to try and get as many forces kind of together to target down the Stalkers and the Immortals, of course, or run away from the Zealots so that the rest of the Protoss army cannot attack you. It's a rough situation in these types of moments. Almost makes you think, would it be better to do the anti-armor missile in that moment, right? Because Interference Matrix on the Colossi is nice, but the Colossi, maybe not the main threat in a situation like that. I'm not entirely sure. I would like to see that fight going again. Right? Just resume from replay. Be like, alright guys, just to amuse me here for a moment. Let's try anti-armor missile here instead, and then, you know, maybe we're going to be able to deal with the Zealots a lot quicker. Then we're going to be able to get on top of those Colossi and stuff like that a bit sooner. Let's see. Imagine if they still had charge on hit damage. Was it 8? Yeah, it was 8. Well, they have... What do they have? They have the other thing now, right? So they still do a bit more damage when they initially attack. But, yeah. Literally negate sentries. I think it's like -3 armor on a anti-armor missile. 3 armor. That is a ton. If you have a mainly marine army shooting at Zealots that have -3 armor, those Zealots just are non-existent, right? They go down quickly. And Zealots already kind of struggle to get themselves or keep themselves inside of the sentry support there as well. I think I delete the damage but increase the speed. I see, I see. Alright. Here we... Oh, that's the wrong person I'm giving points to. The bottom right side, the red Terran player fighting for the Freak of Freaks. He is TY. Top left side, the blue Protoss fighting for the Raise Your Edge Gamers. He is ZEST. There you go. Always with the epic transitions. That's right, that's right. We got Sun Lily to thank for that, helping us out. On Terran players to use more anti-armor missile other than late game TVT. Yeah. I mean, it's such an obvious ability for the interference matrix though, right? Like, it seems like a no-brainer. Just gonna negate any type of AoE splash damage. And it's gonna be a lot easier for your Marines to kind of wiggle themselves in between tight packed corners, so they can deal with the Zealots more easily that way. Right? It's a logical assessment of that situation where you're like, well, I guess that should work relatively well, but it's rough. Guess it's because Ravens get sniped by Stalkers easily. I mean, they do also by Vikings, right? Vikings probably having an easier time to snipe Ravens rather than Stalkers. It's because you're generally off, better off with disabling. Yeah. I mean, the anti-armor missile, you have a lot of workarounds as well. Yeah. Good points. Alright. Factory here behind the barracks with the command center on the low grounds. Let's see, ZEST. Oh, surprise, surprise. Twilight Council once again coming up here. Would really like to see an Innovation versus ZEST game. Innovation just a lot better in the online atmosphere, right? So, would be cool to see. TY, something that interests me here as well. Like, he was being very aggressive. Remember, in that game number 1, he made a couple of Hellions. He went in with a lot of Marines. All of a sudden, kind of died down in the other 2 games, right? Never got that aggressive anymore. He did more normal, I want to say, kind of timing attacks. Didn't quite invest as much in the earlier parts of that aggression. Didn't have like nice moments where it's like, alright, well, I still have 1 Hellion in your main base, and now another Hellion comes into your natural, and I somehow get 5 more workers like that, just off of the back of these 2 units. None of that really happens anymore, and I wonder why that is exactly. Alright. It's definitely interesting. Wondering what the reason is why he wouldn't be that aggressive anymore. Definitely seemed to be working out relatively well. Guess ZEST is the micro monstrosity as well himself. Yeah. To be fair, I'll do a bit of replay casting after this as well. We'll watch the... what was it? Let me take a look quickly. Rogue versus Beyond and Beyond versus DRG. That's the Robo. Also finishing up here. So that's really doing just the same old, same old. Again, sticking quite heavily onto the gateway forces. It's fun to see this work, actually, right? There's a couple of ways I've seen this work now. And ZEST this way is a bit of a new way for me to see. Normally, I think it was Creator or Patience going for, like, in TVP, a very aggressive kind of on the expanding. And then just making a ton of gateways, right? Just almost like a Zerg, trying to overwhelm and having massive amounts of reinforcements capabilities continuously. You know, being 200 supply with a bit of a bank and just smashing through with a lot of the thingamajigs. I saw some of it, yeah, not too much though. I was casting myself as well when they were going on. So couldn't quite catch it. All right, TY once again going in here with not too much of a, well, too scary force, I would say. Losing that Hellion right now, I mean, it may not seem like much, but those Hellions, they help out quite a bit against the Zealots. If you do want to get aggressive here as TY, of course. TY actually not really going for that. Just more so chilling out. Moving back again. Does he have a third base? Not yet. Oh, well, yes. Wait, hold up. Just looking at the wrong place. At the wrong time. But yeah, the interesting part about ZEST's gateway star is that he doesn't get an insane amount of the overall basis, right? He doesn't try to get a massive economic advantage to make it work. He doesn't do a big, massive attack all the time. He's playing it relatively defensively. It's just that he's being so incredibly active with those Stalkers that he's getting so much intel on what his opponent is doing. He's able to snipe continuously in the early parts of the game and get himself ahead with those early game trades. It makes it very difficult for TY to push across the map because, well, he knows he's been scouted. He knows that if he keeps pushing along that way, Stalkers will just be picking and sniping away at his units. No, I was on Trovo. Riverside. I was on Trovo. I think it was just replay casting though, to be fair, so. Makes sense, it makes sense. And as well, like, Bjorn and Maru going on. It's hard to compete with that. Alright, yes, that's just starting up his fourth base right now. Similar situation here for TY. TY will be getting the one that's further forward though. Getting the Ghost Academy as well. The House of the EMP. The House of the Blue Sun. Alright, that's the Templar Archive. So yeah, both these players just getting all the pieces they want for a late game situation here. And I think we'll be in it for a bit of a long haul right now because neither of these players feel comfortable pushing into their opponents. And it makes sense because, well, it's clear that it's going to be a rough one to try and make work, right? Look at the overall vision available here for ZEST. I mean, pretty darn good. It's going to be rough to get a medevac drop or anything of the sorts kind of into a corner where it's going to be able to do anything. The Zealot run by, I mean, I guess if TY moves out a little bit with these siege tanks here, has a bit of an opportunity, but look at that. TY, smart boy, already having all those Marines and Marauders in the bottom left side as well. And, Alright, there is ZEST actually. He is going to start moving in here. It's going to be a rough fight for him, honestly, with the amount of siege tanks that are set up already. A couple of missile turrets also being created right now. I really like that. Makes it a lot more difficult for the Colossi to make an appearance. Oh, that should be a dead disruptor. There we go. Bit of an overextension. Stepping one step too many. And Zestus is going to be like, alright, never mind. You can have that base, it's fine. Don't want to waste away my units, I'll just make sure I get even more bases. Fusion core on the way as well. I wonder, that should just be for the Liberator range, right? Yeah. Clearly just the Liberator range. Sometimes we do see battle cruisers coming into play here in late game TVP, right? Particularly if you want to try and take on the carrier disruptor type of army. Now we're still a little bit away of that situation, of course, but we are slowly moving there, as we can see more Stargates and, of course, the upgrade for the air weapons also here coming up. 2 medevac's worth of droppage happening in the natural base. Trying to target down whatever they can. Doesn't look like it's going to be a lot. Yeah, we'll just let those boys die for the time being. And TY. So these drops right now, they're not doing a lot, but they are still allowing him to reclaim some of that supply, right? So he's going to be able to, instead of have just a ton of Marines, have a couple more Liberators, have some Vikings out, have the more powerhouse units here for as the Terran army composition. Scan on top of those Zealots, that should be a good one. Might be able to intercept that ball of Zealots before they will be able to do anything here. Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. Also, I mean, again, ZEST here though. Trying to open up supply for his armada as well. His Skytos force. We do have nukes on the way. By the way, I did not want to just interrupt myself there, but there are nukes on the way. Looking to make an appearance then. With both these players getting more and more bases, of course, we have a more and more strung out army composition, which provides more and more opportunities for both these players to make actual aggression happen, right? Look at that, another base on the right side here. A couple of Stalkers could come in from the top right side, kind of pick it off. This is that game of waiting to see whether or not these players will be able to sneak by one another. Is that another nuke that we're getting? Oh, it is. That's a lot of nukes that he's getting. Alright, let's put the camera here then. Alright. Zealot run-by is not finding anything so far. More siege tanks on the edge right there. TY kind of having an army setup of nothing in the middle and most of his stuff on either extreme side of the bases here. Guess if ZEST ever tries to do a big push on one of those sides, that could be a problem for TY. He does have a lot of sensor towers though, so you may be able to catch that. Ooh, there we go. Whee! Mwah! Kissing the nuke as it leaves. That is not in sight just quite yet, but we do have a cancel and the probes are gone. The probe goes into the assimilator even. Alright, not much success, but you know what? Maybe an opportunity here. Ooh, another nuke. There we go. Oh, come on. Cut. There we go. Little kiss. The nuclear kiss of death. And getting rid of some of those cannons. Actually only getting one of them. The other one's a bit too far away. Oh my, it's just happening non-stop right now, guys. Oh, gotta love it. More of them go down. We do have the Protoss army now, though, moving straight bang through the middle. The missile turrets here are helping out quite a bit. Putting quite a dent already in the interceptor numbers. Look at that, already losing 4 and 2 in the other two. It'll be 8 in total. Quite nice. EMP doing quite a good job, and the Liberators also doing providing a lot of coverage here, a lot of defensive setup. Another nuke comes out to play. The top side this time around. The Vikings trying to poke at those carriers, putting a lot of them in the red, but still struggling to really make this happen. Actually, mostly targeting the Colossi right now. Interesting. All right, more missile turrets coming up. More nukes in the production tab still as well. An endless supply of nuclear missiles. Liberators realizing, wait a moment, this is our job to handle these boys. There we go, does get 2 of them. More mules on the ground. Army compositions, let's take a look. 8 carriers, 3 Colossi, 4 disruptors, 4 High Templar. That's a lot of spell casting there available for ZEST, of course. And TY, this is probably his strongest area of defense here with those siege tanks on the high ground as well. Anti-armor missile making a good shot happen right there. Maybe able to take out some of those carriers right now with the Vikings. Set up on the wrong side of town though with those Liberators. Will still be able to hold his ground against those carriers for the time being. And you know what? TY's doing it. He is playing quite well and he is able to keep himself on the forefront of the overall trading right now. He's not losing bases, right? Still has these bases everywhere, and I think ZEST is actually the player that is lower on the income graph here. Now, to be fair, TY, he is going to mine out a lot quicker than ZEST, of course, because of his mules. So we need to keep that in mind and need to realize that TY is going to struggle a bit more so trying to expand his army, a little bit less mobile. It's going to have a rougher time to defend all the locations at once. Oh, that's a lot of Vikings. Look at that. One-shotting the carriers now almost. Okay, not anymore. A lot of the Vikings already going down. I'm not sure if that was worth it. Alright. All the upgrades are starting to be accumulated onto the production tab right now. We are having a transition from the carriers into the Tempest. ZEST kind of trying to get himself into a position where he's more so playing with a cost-efficient army rather than just the beefy bicep army over here. Another nuke. Yep. There we go. Straight on the nose. Oh, that's not going to fly. Oh, I love doing this. Don't know if you guys get sick of it. I really do not myself. This time around, I think this could be a good one. It's okay. Six probes. The nuke on the left side, not really finding anything. Having to kill one of his own stalkers here to free up some supplies. Making 3 oracles. Interesting. Guess the oracles are there for revelation and stuff, right? For the Tempest. Playing drink when caster captures the nuke launch. Oh dear, that's a rough game right now because that's all I do. I'm willing to move away the camera from the main fight that's going on to capture nukes flying around. It's one of my weakest points of observing. Alright, here we go. Trying to dodge these moments right now. I mean, so far, the Storm's actually doing a great job against those Vikings. Also, all the Marines are going down incredibly quickly. And now, all of a sudden, TY with 70 army supply remaining here is going to have to find a way to safeguard himself against the Protoss movements of forces here. This could be a rough one, guys. ZEST may have found a good opportunity here. TY may have overstepped a bit too much in this battlefront of war near that, I don't even know, the 6th base. It's the 6th base of ZEST. Look at those Tempests just shooting away at all of the Liberators, trying to set up shop. Interceptor still doing a good job against those missile turrets as well, of course. Together with the Starkers, has it. Well, only 3 High Templar for the time being. TY not out of it just quite yet. He's going to get a couple of Marines as well on the offensive. There are the Vikings. Vikings do a lot better in a battle between the Tempest and the carriers rather than just a battle of the carriers here. Of course, the Tempest are better at just dealing with the Liberators, making room for the Starkers to also participate in the fight. There we go, a good amount of EMPs and siege tank shooting going on right there. Will this be enough here, or will ZEST still be able to push on through? Let's take a look. That's a lot of Liberator zones coming up right now. The Stalkers dealing with the siege tanks on the top side of things. There's still a planetary fortress there. The air fight definitely going into favor for TY for the time being. Good storms still being cast though, finding some opportunities here as the Stalkers still kind of, you know what, the Stalker's not getting rid of the planetary, having a bad fight going on there. Oh, the denial on the Warpin. TY strikes back and he finds himself on the winning end of a very important battle there, which could have brought ZEST ultimate victory in this overall match, but it's not going to happen that easily for him. He's going to have to try and reclaim some of these bases. He doesn't have that much bank to replenish those carrier forces right now. TY looking a lot better, a lot smoother in the supply departments. That Liberator right there providing some valuable scouting information as well, I would say. Seeing that it is mostly Starkers coming along. Starkers getting rid of these missile turrets. I mean, you gotta do something, right? At least he's keeping TY busy as well. Won't allow TY to just kind of move across the map here. Keeping him on his tippy toes. More High Templar into the War Prism. Those High Templar, you know, War Prism High Templar have been the saving grace a couple of times in other fights so far. Will they be able to do it again here? It's a lot rougher this time around. There's not much air dominance or presence at all actually here available for ZEST. As TY, he is looking to put the pressure on his opponents. This base incredibly important for ZEST to have, but it does not look like it's meant to be. Another base for TY though on that top right side may take a similar fate here. TY trying to move to intercept right now. It does not look... Oh, the High Templar gets sniped by the Vikings. Only a single storm is cast. That is still a lot of Stalkers though. The Vikings, they will have to land on the ground to try and deal with the Zealots and the Stalkers here. Not that much Terran remains, but even less Protoss. GG is called. TY. TY ties up the show. Woo. Wow. TY not letting that opportunity fade. Just keeping on that pressure onto ZEST right there. Man, those couple Marines that moved in on that Nexus as soon as they did, that was an incredible, just overall brainy move, wasn't it? As ZEST was moving to the bottom left side, how many Terrans do you think would be like, you know what? I just lost a big fight. He's coming to kill my bases. I'm gonna send more units towards his bases, right? Most likely, Terrans are going to be like, you know what, maybe just I should have everything together over here in order to avoid certain death. Losing another base. And TY is just like, yeah, no, it's fine, we can get this. You know, it's all about keeping your eye on the prize here. The win condition, and that win condition there for TY, he found it in an incredible way. Just getting himself the kill on that Nexus right there. Definitely was an incredibly important moment for him. That was an insane game, actually. That was a really fun game. TY. Bringing it back. We're going to go into game number 5 here between the two. Don't want to watch the TVT finals? Well, I'm sorry. TY might not give you a choice here. Just needs one more victory, of course. Lightshade, a bit of a smaller map. Normally, I would say that should favor the Terran, but honestly, right now, I'm not so sure because ZEST is playing such a weird style with the Stalkers and heavy gateway forces. I don't know, it could favor ZEST here as well. Anyway, here we go. Game number 5. In the top left side, we got the Afrika Freaks red Terran player. He is TY. Bottom right side, the blue Protoss player fighting for the Raise Your Edge gamers. He is ZEST. Wonder why 30 seconds the Starkers were not fighting the army of TY. Yeah, that was a big deal, wasn't it? Trying to target down a planetary fortress there, which they had no business of doing. Maybe they were under the impression that they would be able to just get rid of that planetary as quickly as possible. But yeah. Anyway, back to square one. The first steps being undertaken here once again. A little probe action right there. It's great to see TY though in one of those late game situations. We don't get to see that all that often. By the way, he is representing the Into the Clan community here as well, which is our Korean partner that helps us out with organizing these events. It's a best of 1. Should we change it to a best of 1? It's a best of 5. We also, sometimes I do this as well. It's like a best of 9, 1 more match. But it's not. That would be lying. That would be lying. And then Liquipedia might get mad at me. As soon as they come in here and they're like, wait a moment. We don't know what to put on Liquipedia now. So we're gonna avoid that for the time being. Oh, what? Excuse me? I'm sorry. That's not supposed to happen. Oh, that's quite the blunder. Best of 25. 12 to 12, the final game. Get some hype going, guys. Depth. It's like, who do I attack? Who do I dislike the most? It's gonna be the Marine, it turns out. Reaper in a bit of trouble. Oh, needs to get just 1 or 2 more shots. Ah, doesn't quite get it. Missed the micro opportunity, and now this is trouble. The SCV gets the kill on the Adept, though. But now there's a Stalker here as well. This is falling apart very quickly for TY. This is one of the worst moments. This is as bad as it can go, really. Like, it does. Oh my god. This doesn't even feel like, you know, TY versus ZEST right now. This feels like ZEST versus me, in a way. I'd be losing this amount of units. To be fair, as soon as you lose your first initial couple of units, right, it just starts to snowball. So if you lose that first SAV, suddenly everything is delayed, the bunker is delayed, then you lose that Marine, and then suddenly you lose that Reaper so much earlier as well, and then you start losing more SCVs. It's rough. Okay, well, he has a bunker now, so this should stem the bleeding, right? Should put a cork in the aggression here. Is that a full wall of? No, there's a gap here, right? Fairly certain there is. Should be. Yeah, I'm fairly certain. With a mine drop. It's gonna have to do something. It's gonna have to do something. War Prism also on the way. Full gateway blink, that is going to be a lot of aggression here. We do already have a siege tank halfway built, but of course you can just either blink on top of that or just go elsewhere. Yeah, okay. Nice targeting there, getting full probes. Burrowing, unburrowing here, retargeting. Okay, getting another 5 there actually. Not bad. Not bad at all. 9 probes just like that. Just needs to survive now. He may have made himself in a bit of a playable situation. Needs to keep that bunker alive, though. Good repair going on. Beautifully done, but losing so many of those SCVs right now. ZEST tying it up very quickly here with the aggression of the Stalkers. Again, getting himself further ahead. Another Widowmine attempt. Get in the ground. Nope. Ah, shit, that's not going to be a big hit. Oh well, gets 1 more. It's something. It's something. Alright, the defensive setup here for TY is looking pretty smooth, though. Oh, ZEST. Oh, come on. Give it a go. Give it a swing. Just blink straight up there. You know you want to. Ah, getting shot by the siege tank already. That is a shame. Would have been a nice ambush right there. Getting 2 more SCVs right now. I mean, let's take a look at the units lost count. Actually, both of them losing 11 workers in total. Thought that was more in ZEST's favor. So yeah, suddenly it became a playable situation here for TY again. After the abysmal start. Although, to be fair, those initial losses of SCVs always a lot worse than the ones that occur later on. So I'd still would give a bit of an advantage here to ZEST, especially if he gets that Raven. No Stimpack just quite available yet. More SCVs just keep going down. And we have almost a 15 worker lead going up for ZEST, who's already getting himself a third base as well, of course. Another barracks goes down, and there's the third base for TY. TY, he's just going to try to play super defensively here, perhaps. Try to bring himself back into that late game. I mean, we've seen that he's able to play that late game here versus ZEST. He's able to get himself a victory. Although, it was off of the back of ZEST also kind of over-engaging the Terran army there. And mismanaging some of his units. Although, I suppose that's in every fight, right? Just one player more so mismanaging than the other player. That's the third base. Oh, Raven harassment. That's always fun to see. Those Stalkers, though, they can do quite a number to the siege tanks. Interesting to see that still trying to make a push around. Raven? Raven, hello? Excuse me? Alright, sacrificial Raven right there. Guess he saw the shield battery and he's like, ah, well, never mind. Then the Stalkers were there as well. Couple of units here stimming in, getting rid of that observer, always a good thing. It's another one. Oh no, actually that's the hallucinated phoenix. It is, in fact, yeah. It's in order to avoid stutters. The medium graphics instead of the max. Alright, so third base and fourth base now being established by both these players. Just getting himself a couple of Archons. Trying to get back into this game. Dark Shrine. Okay, Dark Shrine. Always cool to see ZEST going for that Dark Shrine. Something that we were missing in that previous late game situation. Definitely does seem like TY is just hell-bent on trying to get this into another late game scenario. He's got a good amount of siege tank. He's got 5 siege tanks over here. Does seem to be the right number. The right number for the case. Stalker's going to try to be pushed backwards here. Nice pickup on one of the Marauders there, kind of saving his life. ZEST, okay, ZEST is going to try to open up the map for the time being. This is the race that would benefit more so of this. Already grabbing another base here as well. Now it really is starting to seem like he is playing that gateway style that I've seen before. Right, where you are just going absolutely ham on Nexuses. To be fair, you would get another Nexus actually right now. You would go up to 90 probes. Just put on the Zerg skin here. Put on the Queen hat and just keep expanding. Go absolutely ham. Then you fill up your entire base with gateways, and that is a reasonable way to try and take the fights that way. You will just be able to keep sending in waves and waves of Zealots, Stalkers, stuff like this. Endless supply. Some Archons in there as well. Why the hell not? And then as soon as your army dies, you can just get yourself a new army straight away, right? Back up to 200 supply, no problem. Trading inefficiently. Doesn't matter. Well, why not? Well, because he has 3 more bases than his opponents, right? It's not really happening here again, though, for ZEST. He is, again, playing it more, how do you call this? Cautionly, right? He's playing with more caution overall. Trying to get those DTs in here. Already quite a formidable force available, though, for TY. Another planetary fortress. And yeah, TY, I mean, starting to get really all the technology we saw the previous game as well, right? He really does want this to go into the late game scenario. Here we go, moving in actually on a couple of those siege tanks. They are a bit exposed. The Liberator still managing to find an alright scenario though, and that is a lot of Protoss units that go down rather quickly. A lot of DTs in the mix here as well. But TY aware is going to be able to keep scanning ahead, ensuring that he will not go down that easily. There's the rest of the Gateway force though, and that is the way you play the Gateway army for the Protoss. That was enough to kind of break the front, but immediately more reinforcements from the fourth base there from TY comes in. 11 workers were slain, but the base still stands, so ultimately, I think this may be an alright situation for for TY. And particularly because that's only 72 probes here, right? This is why you want to be on 80, 90 probes. Higher up in that probe count in order to... Oh, actually 76. So, it's just quite hard for him now to get back up to max, right? If he was able to just immediately almost max out again here, that would have been just a great way to end this game right now. Planetary Fortress does get sniped by the DTs. That's always a good call. That's always a great way to make something like that work. Already 2 more command centers were being built here though, so TY won't be denied the mining going on there for too long, but still quite a nasty bit of damage, of course. So he is already behind on these. Oh my god, the DTs just blink right on top of these forces. Wow, more value there being achieved by ZEST. And that's starting to add up now. That is quite impressive actually for somebody playing the Gateway style. Getting himself that close in the supplies here. Oh, good EMP. Blinking away though. We'll be able to save most of those DTs. Again, coming in with a lot of Zealots, the Stalkers. And finding another base to take over. That is pretty darn good. ZEST is making a lot of headway here. The DTs will blink right on top of those bio units. The blink missing a little bit though. The way you want to do that is blink behind the bio, but I don't think it matters. I think this is already too much to handle here. Too many Vikings perhaps were created trying to combat the potential switch up here of army. And it never was there. ZEST is staying on to the Zealot Stalker DT composition and bam, takes it.